Breaker 1-9, Officer Rogers, this is Chief Thor. What's your 20? Over. He's not answering. I'm starting to fear the worst. Officer Baker, do you copy?
Yes, sir, Chief Thor. Officer Baker reporting for duty.
Baker, I need you to move quickly to the computer lab.
Copy that, Chief. Do they need audience members for speeches down there?
No, it's Rogers. He hasn't responded. That's not like him. Besides, he wasn't after just any suspect. He was hot on the trails of the outlaw, Brody Ball.
The outlaw? Was he hot dogging in the hallways again?
Affirmative, Baker. He's always hot dogging in the hallways. But this time, we've caught him. Our chief technology specialist, Mr. Johnny Whitson, has limited him, and he can only access world's most boring website.com. That should have flushed him out. Unless, pick me up in your squad car on the way to the computer lab.
Sir, the door is open. Officer Rogers is on the ground and covered in keys.
The Fiend! Officer Rogers, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, barely. I've got a comma key stuck in my left ear. Your mouth is moving, but there's a brief pause in the sound reaching my brain.
Ah, comma, brief pause. I see what you did there.
Enough! I can't believe he would resort to the most disrespectful and torturous method so quickly.
Yes, sir. They keyboarded me. They threw a sheet over me and then pelted me with the keys from that keyboard.
Johnny's gonna have a cow, and not the kind of cow from the Eggleston Ranch. You didn't give in to the torture, did you? You didn't give up any classified info, I hope.
Sir, I made it through the alphabet, the numbers, and even the punctuation keys. But when they started throwing shifts, backspaces, and then the space bar, I caved. You know how big those keys are. Anyone would have. I gave him the GPS coordinates to the snack shack, sir. They'll probably eat all of Miss Vicky's chips before break time.
You said they. Did he have help?
Yes, sir. He had 2 henchmen. He referred to them as One-Eye Cheney and Renegade Reeves, sir. One had nunchucks and the other had a lightsaber.
You realize that was not a real lightsaber, right, Rogers?
It doesn't matter, sir. If you leave that thing on for 3 to 5 minutes, the heat from the bulb is you burn.
Enough! We haven't the time for this ridiculousness. Breaker 1-9, Assistant Chief Birch, do you copy?
She's a little tied up right now, and it looks like you'll need another keyboard at the office. These Miss Vickies are delicious.
You animal!
Careful, Chief. There's still plenty of peanut butter crackers in here, and I've got quite the appetite. I'm off to slide down the rails from the ag shop, even if the penalty is lunch detention. You'd have to catch me first.
What's the plan, Chief?
Rogers, Beulah Ball is on her way in. We were too late to catch the outlaw at the ag rails, but Beulah Ball will cooperate. If she won't, we'll keyboard her.
Sir, she's an elderly lady.
Fine, Rogers. We'll call in a guy that owes the department a favor. A guy that's gone straight since his last run-in with the law.
You mean the terrorist, Ralph Munn? The man that stole the bully box?
Precisely, Rogers. Oh, Mrs. Ball just pulled up, and she's well within dress code. Whatever you do, don't bring up her husband, Barney. He's still locked away in lunch detention after failing to return a laptop. She's still a little sore about that. I'll be in the observation room, watching through what appears to be a mirror.
10-4, good sir. Well, hello, Mrs. Ball.
Hello, officer. Call me Beulah.
Right, I suppose you know why we brought you here.
I'm hoping because you found my dentures. I left them in the cafeteria a few weeks back having the breaded drumstick.
That's really gross, ma'am. Actually, we asked you to come in because we need help. It's your grandson, the outlaw.
Oh, such a a nice boy. He dropped a bag of the Miss Vickies at my house earlier. They were delicious.
Those were hot chips, ma'am.
They were. Those jalapenos had a lot of bite to them.
No, I mean they were stolen.
Oh, heavens.
Enough of this. You're gonna start talking, ma'am, or am I gonna have to begin loosening the screws on your walker?
Okay, I'm sorry. He came by with 2 hooligans I hadn't seen before and said he was headed over to the junior high to pick up a crate of Fun Dip.
Thank you, Mrs. Ball. You've been most helpful.
Okay, now that we know where he's headed,
Howdy, partners.
Rancher Eggleston, do what we owe the pleasure.
It's my prize-winning cow, Carabelle. I rode into town this morning and parked her over at the community center. When the bell rang later in the day, she was gone. And the worst part is that my low-deck Peterbilt is at the house. I was counting on Carabelle to make it home. Now my dinner will be cold.
Well, you should have never parked Carabelle over there. We have no shot records, insurance, and even a license to ride a cow in our office.
we didn't have her towed, I can assure you of that.
I know I did the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
Who do you think took her?
It was him.
The outlaw!
Oh no. Could this be? Has the outlaw Brody Ball cow-napped Rancher Eggleston's prize-winning Clarabelle? Does he plan to have steak and potato chips for dinner? You'll have to tune in next week to find out on an all-new episode of Cops and Rogers. You may go